All right, we'll go ahead and get started. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Marketable Skills session of our virtual retreat. You all are in the Hanging Snowflake class, and that will be led by Deborah Foster of Marshall County. As a reminder, this will be recorded, and if you all don't mind to keep your microphones muted the entire time. If you have a question, let us know in the chat box, and we'll be able to address it, and you all can unmute and speak at that point. Let's see. So if you don't want to be on camera, you might turn your camera off. Like I said, it will be recorded. And once again, just thank you all for joining us. And I'm going to turn it over to Deborah Foster, who will be leading our session today.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy that you've joined us to make the snowflake. Your finished product is going to look like this. And you use the 16 child size white plastic hangers. Becky had emailed me that she didn't know where to find them. The ones I got, this package came from our local Walmart here in Lewisburg. It's 10 to a pack, and they're located in the baby section where the baby supplies and all are. I have bought them at the Target in Murfreesboro and found them at both the baby section as well as the where your organization things are. You'll also need your zip ties. You can find those at Walmart. I've got some that came from Harbor Freight, and you can always use their little 20% off. One package usually has 100, which is more than enough. I do suggest getting the white to match with your hanger so they don't stand out. Then you'll also need pliers that will just cut the plastic. Sometimes just regular scissors won't do a good job. Of course, you need a glue gun and glue sticks. Does anybody have any questions about the supplies then? Okay. Okay, we're going to start out with child size hangers and zip ties. And a tip about the zip ties is the way that they thread, and you always want to thread the point through the flat part here, not through this part that sticks out. It won't grip. And you're going to always have this little part with the teeth up against the hangers as you thread. We'll start with 2 hangers, and we will simply put it underneath 2 of them. You will tighten them up, and sometimes just a ratcheting motion helps to tighten them up. You don't want to tighten them to the point that they are going to overlap and not stay secure. It will take at least 2 zip ties for each pair of hangers. Notice that I have turned both of the hangers with the hook going in the same direction. I know all snowflakes are supposed to be unique, but it's a good idea to have all your hooks turned opening in the same direction.
We had a question in the chat box. Is your glue gun on the high temperature or low temperature setting?
My glue gun only has one setting, so. Toward either end. And again, make sure that it lays flat. And that's the first step of your snowflake. Some of the hangers are not perfect, And you may even need to put one right here, a zip tie in the center, or at another step, you may want to add hot glue. But for now, that's all you need to do on the first step. After you finish this step, you're going to do the same thing 3 more times.
Okay, how many of you are doing this craft in real time? We're curious. Is anybody? Okay, if you'd like us to stop for a minute.
I am.
Okay.
Just let us know when you have 4 sets.
Oh, I'm kind of slow. So
Okay.
Okay, that's okay.
you can, I mean, you don't have to wait for me.
Well, we have plenty of time, I think.
Does anyone need us to go back to that first step to kind of see it again?
Now that you have 4,
I do, because I had a phone call. If you
Okay.
stop real quick, sorry.
3 more times. Okay, you just lay your 2 hangers so that the hooks are pointed in are open in the same direction. And once you have them laying flat, you use one of your zip ties and slip it underneath the 2 hangers, and make sure you thread that point through the flat side, the little part that accepts the end of your zip tie is like a little tiny box, and you want to slip it through the flat side, not the part that's protruding out. And then you just either push it, pull, or use a ratcheting motion to tighten that up. You'll need it to put at least 1 on either end. And then I think later on you can put some hot glue in there to hold the long parts together in the center where it will be more secure. And it does take a few minutes to do that.
And then you do 4.
Yeah, and then you do that 4 different times. So you've used half of your hangers.
So what you see on the screen, you should
have 4 of
4
those.
sets.
And don't worry about the zip tie ends yet. We'll take care of that later.
Anyone have any questions up until this point? Okay. Continue. Okay.
Mary Alice, are you about finished?
I'm finishing my 4th set.
Okay, good.
Done.
All right, she says
Okay.
done.
For now, that's all you need to do on the first step. After you finish this step, you're going to do the same thing 3 more times. Now that you have 4 sets of hangers fastened together with your zip ties, you're going to position them so that the ends of the hangers come together in the center, and then make sure that all your hooks are turned going in the same direction, and that's another connect point for your zip ties. Again, it's not going to lay just perfect, that you're going to have to work with it, but we're going to start with our zip ties, and we're going to do, just like we did in the first step, we're going to slide our zip ties in the hooks and tighten them.
You want to actually show that?
I think the first one I did at each of our hooks.
Go ahead.
was out of sight of the camera, and I didn't realize that, but you'll see how I'm doing on the next one. Like this. And again, don't get them so tight. You can always come back and tighten them up more. Then we'll go around and get all of our hooks zip tied. Okay, then you'll need to work with it just a little bit. And then we're going to attach the centers. Not all the hangers will have this little addition right here. They are easier sometimes maybe to get the centers connected, but the little center adds a little more to your snowflake. Okay, there you have all 4 of your sets of hangers attached. And again, you can go back around and adjust whatever needs to be adjusted. And at this point, if you think you need to add some hot glue, then just make sure you put your scrap cardboard underneath your snowflake. And you might want to put hot glue at some of these connections. If it lays okay, I would just wait about the hot glue, because we're going to make another set just like this. So you start back with 2 hangers, put them together, and then make 4 more sets, and then attach them just like we've done these. Okay, when I use the hot glue on this one, I know you're not going to be able to see very well, but I hot glued on along this straight where the 2 flat surfaces had come together on each pair of hangers. And then in some of them, I put just a little dollop of hot glue where I had done the zip ties, joining the sets of hangers together. Gives it just a little bit more stability. And depending on how yours lays, but it will add a little stability to it. And so it is a good idea to go on and use some hot glue on those. And then you're doing 4 more, you're just repeating from the very beginning. You're going to do the 2 hangers together and make you 4 more sets. And then when you get your 4 sets, then you put them together just like that step. You're just duplicating what we have already done.
So at this point, if anyone wants us to go back, so you can go through that process again, we're happy to do that. If you want to see the step-by-step one more time, kind of just let us know either through the chat box or through a head nod. Otherwise, we'll just give you a couple of minutes to get that part completed. connect the middle again? Yes. Yes, Becky, we can. So Becky's asking about how the middle is connected again.
Okay, then you'll need to work with it just a little bit. And then we're going to attach the centers. I did connect the hooks first, all the way around. Not all the hangers will have this little addition right here. They are easier sometimes maybe to get the centers connected, but the little center adds a little more to your snowflake. Okay, there you have all 4 of your sets of hangers attached. And again, you can go back around and adjust whatever needs to be adjusted. And at this point, if you think you need to add some hot glue, then just make sure you put your scrap cardboard underneath your snowflake. And you might want to put hot glue at some of these connections. If it lays okay, I would just wait about the hot glue because we're going to make another set just like this. So you start back with 2 hangers, put them together, and then make 4 more sets, and then attach them just like we've done these.
Okay, does anyone need some more time on the second set? Otherwise, we could move forward.
Okay, now that you've got all your pieces zip tied together, you can see where I have hot glued at these joints, simply to make it lay a little bit flatter. I came down between some of the hangers, between my zip ties, just again to give it a little more stability and so that they don't start twisting. At this point, you want to trim off all of your excess zip ties. You can do that with a cutter like these, or I would not use regular scissors, and especially not your fabric scissors, but anything that will cut the plastic and get it out of your way. You want to make sure that you have all of your zip ties tightened as much as you want them tight before you start cutting, because once you start cut the tails off, then it's really hard to get a hold of it to make it any tighter. And even though you're cutting these, at any point when we do the next step, if you need to adjust them a little bit, they still will slide. So if you need a little more support at a certain spot or need to get that zip tie out of the way of a zip tie that you're about to add. You'll do this to both sets, and then you're ready to put the 2 sets together. Make sure that you turn this with the tie where you snip the ties off. You want that to be to the back and not show. And then you're going to place. Okay, I misspoke on this step and did not realize it till we watched the video. I would really like all of the ends of the ties where you've cut them off on the back side of your finished snowflake. So you want to leave it laying on the table the way you had it to start with, where you clipped off all the ties so that that part is still facing you and will then eventually be the back of your snowflake.
Anyone have any questions on that or need it repeated?
Ready to start putting the two together.
Anyone need another minute?
Your second set of hangers so that the long part of the hanger of the top lines up with where the hooks of the lower one, and adjust so that the center overlap at that point. Okay, now you're ready to start zip tying the two sets together. Again, it's a good idea to do it where your hooks are. So we're going to zip tie all the way around, attaching the hooks where the hooks are joined together. And again, you can always tighten up the zip ties when you get through. Be sure to check to make sure you're not pulling the center so that it's not lined up. Then once you have the outer part anchored together, come back to the center. And you may not need to anchor at every end of the hangers, just whenever it feels sturdy to you. And again, if you need to, you can always add hot glue to glue the two structures together. Obviously, the more zip ties you put in, the more sturdy it's going to be. And maybe then you don't need quite as much hot glue. Once you think you have it secure, then you'll go back and snip off all of the excess zip ties. And that feels pretty sturdy. So then we will simply snip all of our zip ties. And it feels sturdy enough. If not, you can add glue, hot glue, to any of the connecting points. Flip it over, and your snowflake is finished and ready to hang.
Okay, at this point, does anyone have any questions or want us to go back and show a part of the video again? You need a reminder. Okay. Thumbs up from Wendy. And this is a larger version of the finished product.
I've seen pictures on Pinterest and other things online of adding lights or tinsel or silk flowers to embellish them. Like I said earlier, I tried some of just the miniature Christmas tree lights, and I never could figure out a path that I wasn't just repeating and going over. But I think Mary Alice or someone commented that they did see one online or somewhere with the maybe the fairy lights on it. But as you see, you can decorate them to make them unique. I'm thinking about trying, on all the ones I've made, I have turned the hangers with the hooks the way I showed you. I think I'm going to try making one where I can turn the hooks where they would be, when I put them together, coming to the inside and making the center part just a little bit different, and seeing, how that would look. As they say, there's no two snowflakes alike, so all of them will be unique.
Question in the chat box asking how do you hang them?
What was that, Kristen?
How do you hang them?
How do you hang them?
Oh, well, as you saw, we had that one hung on a kitchen cabinet on the doors. I used just a wreath hanger on my outside door to hang them. You would want them, you can always add a piece of ribbon or twine or something. If a wreath hanger won't hold it where it's maybe a little bit to one side or the other, you can always put a ribbon or tie of some type right here at the center of one of the connections, and then just have a loop to hang on your wreath hanger or hook or whatever you're hanging it to.
All right, any more questions about the snowflake hanger? Or any other fun ideas you might have on decorating them?
Here in Marshall County, we have, when we're able to meet, we have a craft day once a month. It's the fourth Thursday of each month, with the exception of a couple of months. And this is the last project we got to do as a group. We did it the last Thursday in February, and it went very smoothly. Everybody brought their own materials, and we just spread out. Some were working on tables, some were in the floor working on them, but everybody went home with a finished snowflake, and I think did enjoy it. So it might be something that you can do with your FCE groups.
And this is one of those decorations that can last throughout the winter. It's not specific
Yes.
to Christmas or anything, so.
I collect
Longer
snow.
use.
I collect snowmen, so I leave all my snow-related things out until at least the end of February, and depending on the weather, maybe even into March.
So for those of you that were or are doing the project in real time, do you guys want to show us what you've got so far? And Mary Alice is doing it, and Becky. All right. Mary Alice
Mary
has
Alice
hers.
looks very good. Good job.
I'm behind. I'm still putting mine together.
Hey, that's fine.
I think it's going to be a great show and tell item.
I hope so.
Yeah. Because we're all creative out there, you know, and we'll see some pretty unique ones, I'm sure.
Mary Alice, you're muted.
I didn't have enough hangers, but there's the beginning.
Hey, you got to have a, well, it's a unique, it's still a snowflake. It's just not as fluffy as some.
I only had 12 hangers, so I'm still working on it.
Okay. But like, you could even just hang it like that.
Yeah, I might play with it.
I had bought hangers at Target, and I think they had 12 to a pack, whereas the Walmart had only 10 to a pack, but it does take 2 packs. I did find some at online that you could buy like 30 to a pack, I think at Walmart.
It's not one of delivered. All right. Any other questions? There's one that you can get for.
Can they see that?
Yeah. Hold on just a second.
Terry just pulled up Walmart online and found some blue ones, children's size. If you wanted a blue snowflake. I've not seen the blue here in Lewisburg, but they are online. And someone had asked if you could use the adult size hangers. My arms are too short to contend with something that large. I think you might have more issues with your stability using the large hangers, but I'm sure it's possible. It would be a very big snowflake because these are about 26 inches wide with the children's size. So an adult would be, I think I tried to measure over 36 inches wide probably. So if you've got a place that large and use enough glue and zip ties, I guess you could.
All right, ladies. You won't have any other questions or comments, then we will let you all go. And we have about, I don't know when the next session starts, but we're finishing up a little bit early here. So if you have any questions or want to ask Deborah, this is the time. Okay, well, thank you all for joining us for the hanging snowflake. We hope you've enjoyed it. Any parting thoughts?
I just hope you'll enjoy it and maybe instruct one of your FCE groups and show them how to make them.
Becky, we got Becky's asking how to put the two, I guess, larger pieces together again. Let's see, Becky, do you want to see the video? Is this that part?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so putting the two larger pieces together. Give me just a sec. We'll show that part of the video again.
Enjoyed it. I've got to go, but thanks.
Thank you.
But the plastic and get it out.
If you'd like to leave, you're welcome to. We're going to go through just putting the two larger pieces together again.
If anybody had trouble getting, like I did, getting zip ties at Dollar Tree or whatever, anyway, you can use these white stems too, the chenille stems. That's what I found.
Okay, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. You
I
get
got-
creative when you.
Yes.
when you-
Yes, I found zip ties at Walmart, at Harbor Freight. I saw them once at the Dollar Tree, but when I went back later, of course, they weren't there anymore.
They said they can't keep up with the zip ties at the Dollar Tree.
It's amazing. Okay, here's the section on putting the two together.
Oh, well, we thought.
Well, we thought it was. And underneath your snow feather down between sisters, and you'll do your second set of hangers so that the long part of the hanger of the top lines up with where the hooks of the lower one, and adjust so that the center overlap at that point. Okay, now you're ready to start zip tying the two sets together. Again, it's a good idea to do it where your hooks are. So we're going to zip tie all the way around, attaching the hooks where the hooks are joined together. And again, you can always tighten up the zip ties when you get through. Be sure to check to make sure you're not pulling the center so that it's not lined up. Then once you have the outer part anchored together, come back to the center. And you may not need to anchor at every end of the hangers, just whenever it feels sturdy to you. And again, if you need to, you can always add hot glue to glue the two structures together. Obviously, the more zip ties you put in, the more sturdy it's going to be. And maybe then you don't need quite as much hot glue. Once you think you have it secure, then you'll go back and snip off all of the excess zip ties. And that feels pretty sturdy. So then we will simply snip all of our zip ties. And it feels sturdy enough. If not, you can add glue, hot glue to any of the connecting points, flip it over, and your snowflake is finished and ready to hang.
All right, there we go.
Thank you so much for your patience.
All right, it looks great.
Looks good, Becky.
I love it.
Good,
We're very snowflakey and snowmen around here too. So
good,
that's going to work perfect. Thank you.
good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you, Mary Alice.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
We'll see ya.
Bye-bye.